It's officially time for me to tell you my top 20 most anticipated Romantasy books of 2026. These are the books that either have books before them that I rated 5 stars that I expect the sequel to be 5 stars, or they are new series by authors that I already know that I love. So this is not just a list of books that are coming out. This is a list of the books that are coming out, the only ones that matter when it comes to what you put on your TBR. These are the top 20 that are required reading for 2026. Let's go in order. Starting out, there are actually 2 books that came out in February 2026 that need to be on your TBR, that maybe they slipped by you that you didn't know about. The first book came out on February 10th. It's called Throne of Nightmares by Kerri Maniscalco. It is a standalone in a series of interconnected standalones. So if you're like, girl, I just want one book, I want spice, I want plot, I want like a Bridgerton and demon vibe, that is going to be the Princes of Sin series. So right now this is going to be book 3, but every single book is a standalone. So don't argue with me. Don't try to tell me that Throne of Nightmares is book 3 in a series. It is the 3rd romance in a series. So the way that the Prince of Sins series works is it is a kind of overarching story, overarching series that is going to follow different couples in every book. So if you ever read something that's like contemporary romance, like Elsie Silver, the Chestnut Spring series, all of that kind of thing, where each book you could read by itself. It starts and ends with a romance that is in one book, but technically the world exists outside of those books and you can read about other people in the world. So it's a standalone. Can you read it first without reading the others? Yeah. Would I recommend that you read the others? Yes. And if you're gonna read the others, you may as well read them in order. But if you wanna try this one because you're pretty sure you'll like it, feel free, pick it up. You don't need to read the other books to read it. However, all of these books are following different demons, different princes of hell. So we have a Bridgerton vibe, we've got demons, we've got slow burn to really awesome spice, we've got everything. These are a really good time. There is also a touch of emotional damage. They're not just like surface level romance reads, like they've got political intrigue, they've got that fantasy vibe, they've got, you know, a little bit of trauma, healing, emotional damage, all of the things that we like, but it's in a short standalone, not gonna take your entire life to read series. So the second book that literally just dropped, and everybody needs to drop what they're doing to pick this book up. It is Tortured Souls by Melissa K. Roehrich. It came out on February 12th. This is one of my auto-buy like god tier authors. Melissa K. Roehrich wrote the Lady of Darkness series. That's a completed 5-book series if you want to add that to your TBR. She also wrote the Legacy series, which is a completed 4-book series. So you've got a new series and then 2 completed series if you want to add those to your TBR. But this is a new series by her. So it's going to be the first book in a new series, and it is called Tortured Souls. Now, Melissa K. Roehrich is god tier because she writes actual dark fantasy romance, she writes actual high stakes, and she writes actual enemies to lovers. So it's not that fake stuff, and I actually got to interview her at the Everflame Ball last year, and I asked her how she manages to write such like dark stuff that's like, I was asking her basically why it seems like most authors are scared to like write an actual dark fantasy romance, even though that's what all the book girlies want and crave. She basically said, especially when it comes to enemies to lovers and her book boyfriends, she was like, I think about something that would kind of like be the edge of like something dark, like something that they could do that's like so bad it's like almost at the edge and it's uncomfortable. And then she takes it one step further and I'm like, that's the right answer. So I'm tired of people being scared to write actual like enemies to lovers, to write actual morally gray characters, to write characters that honestly your readers are going to hate, but if they're going to trust the process, they're going to love and be crawling for them at the end of the series, which is what happened in the Legacy series. Like that, the enemies to lovers is with you in the characters, and trust her, let her cook. I expect nothing less from Tortured Souls. I think it's going to be another potential like god tier book. So coming out on March 10th, we're going to have Heart of Mischief. That's by Emma Noyes. And this one, the first book in the series was called Soul of Shadow. So Soul of Shadow, honestly, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to be real with you. The author reached out to me and asked me to read Soul of Shadow to see if I would like it, to see if I ever wanted to talk about it. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not sure. And when I tell you this was one of the best things I read last year. Now, let me be clear. I've never given a fake review. If I don't like a book, even if the author asked me to read it, I'm going to tell them, no, thank you. I'm not going to talk about this. So in case anybody was wondering, any review I've ever given on a book is my honest opinion. And if you ever see me doing a paid partnership, it is still my honest opinion. I will not lie to you just because someone gave me money. So if anybody cared, there's the deal. Let me know if you want to know details about that. If you want to know how paid partnerships work, if you want to know what a week in the life looks like, how many things I'm like working on, because I feel like I don't share any of that with anyone. So intermission, let me know if you want to know about any of that, or if you want to do like a Q&A about making book content and making money off of it. So The Heart of Mischief. Now this series, this is the second book in a series. It was giving The Vampire Diaries, Teen Wolf, Supernatural, Riverdale. Like, it was like reading a CW show. It's got sort of more of a Norse mythology vibe, so it's not vampires or anything, or like werewolves. But when I tell you the book boyfriend, I don't even know if he's the book boyfriend, actually, because with what happened at the end, this was like a lovers to enemies situation where I thought like maybe it was going to be boring and it was going to be a fast burn and it was just going to be like super predictable and insta love. And then at the end, like the betrayal is absolutely unhinged. Like, you're not going to like this guy. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I want. I want to think that I like someone, and then I want to be like, oh no, I hate them. But I love the angst that's coming with this now. And this was definitely giving like Damon Salvatore, a little bit of Klaus Michelson, like a character that you want to love, but they do despicable things that make you question whether or not you should love them. So definitely add Heart of Mischief to your TBR. Now, coming out right after my birthday on March 31st, literally one of my top 3 most anticipated Romantasy books of 2026 is going to be Cinder Vale by the Twisted Sisters. This is book 3 in the Sins of the Zodiac series. Books 1 and 2 were both 5-star reads for me. These books take place in the same world as Solaria. Do you need to read Zodiac Academy to read them? No. Would I recommend, as someone who is completely obsessed and knows everything about Zodiac Academy in the world of Solaria, that you read them first just for the ultimate experience? Yes. Honestly, I feel like you should read them first. But you do not have to. There's no spoilers. There's nothing that won't make sense. However, there are a couple of Easter eggs that you won't catch if you haven't read it. And I don't know where we're going in the rest of the series. There might be like a crossover that I don't know about yet. But this is going to be book 3 in the series, March 31st. This is True Enemies to Lovers. It's a military academy. And we've got 2 sort of main characters. So we've got like 2 rival FMCs, and we follow the POVs of both. So it's not just one romance. It's not just one storyline. It's 2. And there's also a little bit of like enemies to friends, enemies to lovers, enemies to friends with the FMCs in the book. So they have their own sort of like complicated, really interesting, female tension-filled relationship in here. So I love that dynamic is added. It's not your basic like 2 people in love, end of story. There's a lot going on in Sins of the Zodiac. So on April 3rd, one of my God tier auto by authors is Eliza Raine. She's starting a brand new series. She wrote the Flame Cursed Fae trilogy, which was Of Blades and Wings, some of the best, like most creative slow burn spice I've ever read. Eliza Raine writes also some of my favorite spice. I mean, she also writes good plot. She doesn't write like spice for the sake of spice. Her slow burns are absolutely torturous, but let me tell you, they are worth it. This one's going to be called Immortal Fury. It's a new series. It's going to be a Hercules retelling, Hercules theme. That's really all I know about it. I did see Forced Proximity. I saw Enemies to Lovers. I saw all of my favorite things. I'm not sure if it's going to have trials in it, but I know our girl Eliza Raine does like trials. She also likes Norse mythology. So I don't know. This is a Hercules vibe. Hercules is not Norse. That's Greek. Listen, whatever. She likes mythology, so this is gonna have a Greek vibe in it. So I'm really excited about this. I don't know anything about it. I know that she's sending me a copy, and I will say that like this is one of those books that like when I get it, I want to immediately read it. I'm very excited about this one. Okay, so on April 7th, we have the sequel to a book that was absolutely like one of the most talked about controversial books on Book Talk last year, which was Shield of Sparrows, and it was basically either you have terrible taste if you like it, or it was really bad, and because I didn't like, not me, but like if because someone else didn't like it, that means no one's allowed to like it. This was a book that people were very vocal about not liking, and this was also a book that people made a point to not just me, but like come into everyone's positive reviews and be like, did you get paid to do this? How could you like this? Listen, Devney Perry, you gotta let her cook. Shield of Sparrows has a lot of world building. Was it boring world building? No. But did you get spice and romance right out the gate? Also no. This is political intrigue. This is betrayal. This is plotting. There's a lot of stuff going on in Shield of Sparrows that's it's not like high action, like people unaliving left and right. It's like, I feel like you guys need to calm down. with what we're looking for in a romantasy book. Like, you have to read the book. You have to let the author build the world, and not everything can be unhinged plot twists and crazy spice, like from page 1 all the way to the end. Like, that's unrealistic, and we're starting to desensitize ourselves, I feel like, when it comes to a spicy book. This one has plot. This one requires you to think, to immerse yourself in the world, and to actually read the book. It does, however, have an absolutely unhinged ending. The ending literally like popped off. It was one of those ones where I was sitting and I sat up. I was like, oh, wait, let me get in a new position to finish the last 100 pages of this book, because what happened, you guys? And if you think you guessed the plot twist, Devney Perry dropped a couple little nuggets that were really easy to figure out. You're not going to guess all of them, okay? Incorrect. You guys, if you DNF this book, you're doing it wrong. I don't know if I told you the title of the book. On April 7th, it's going to be Rites of the Starling. That is book 2. And I do think that because of the world building and what was laid out in book 1, I think book 2 has the potential to be one of those like series where book 2 is going to like really pop off in comparison to book 1. I really enjoyed book 1, but I think now that we've got the groundwork laid, there's room for a lot of action. There's room for a lot of things to go on with the romance. Like, I think we're going to start like picking it up a lot in book 2, sort of like when you read ACOTAR and you were like, what am I reading this for? What are we doing? And then the last 100 pages was crazy. And then book 2 was like a god tier book. So also coming out on the same date, April 7th, is going to be Bloodsinger by Juliette Cross. That is the second book following Firebird. And Firebird was also controversial. Firebird was controversial because of the dark elements and the romantic elements. It kind of has like a master-prisoner dynamic. So the romance is a little bit darker. It's kind of uncomfortable. It's a little bit more taboo. It's sort of more taboo than what you normally see in like a romantasy book. So a lot of people were offended by that, which is absolutely fine if you don't like that subject matter. However, there are girlies out there that want to read about that kind of stuff. They do not romanticize it, but they will read about it and they will take what the author is trying to give them. This is like a Roman Empire setting, so it is accurate with what was going on in the Roman empires. So this is just for our like extra dark girlies who like the darkness to be a part of the romance. This is giving a little bit of like a mildly taboo romance, and I personally live for that. So this one was for me. I expect us to get even darker in book 2, and I might get to meet Juliette Cross this year and maybe do an interview with her, so I'll let you guys know about that. But she's another one of those authors that is not afraid to go a little darker than what people are normally comfortable with, and I love it. I love when authors like scare the people. I love when they make people uncomfortable. That's my favorite thing. I love to be uncomfortable. All right, coming out on May 5th. You guys are not ready. This is another like viral book talk book that I liked that a lot of people didn't like. So this is another unpopular opinion. I also got asked if I got paid to talk about this one. I didn't. I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't. But Furybound comes out on May 5th. The first book was Direbound, which is the best way I know how to describe it. It is a better Fourth Wing with direwolves. So it's got direwolves, it's got trials. It's kind of a military academy. It's not quite as military academy feeling as Fourth Wing was. And then instead of dragons, we have direwolves. We have a telepathic, sarcastic direwolf. I absolutely ate this up. I also thought the plot twists were really good. There was a couple of good plot twists. And then the relationship is just more interesting to me. We have potentially like a little bit of a love triangle going on, and no one even tried to tell me that Dane was ever going to be a love triangle level love interest in here. Like, no thank you. So this is sort of giving more of a love triangle vibe. It's a little bit darker feeling than Fourth Wing. And there is a scene where one of our potential book boyfriends like aggressively licks her neck out of dominance. And I was like, okay, I wasn't sure if I was feeling you before. Like it is a little bit, even though it's a love triangle, it's a little bit insta love feely, but there are some books where that bothers me and there are some where they don't. And for this one, I was enraptured by the plot. There's also 2 love interests. So we're not quite sure. There's all kinds of stuff. There's just more to it. It's not just like, here's the war college, here's the obvious man that you're going to end up with, here's the trials. And then again, I know that not everybody knows the history. I liked Fourth Wing. It's Onyx Storm that I had a problem with. Like Fourth Wing, aside from Xaden, truly was an absolute immaculate vibes read. It's really just Xaden that I don't like. And then in Onyx Storm, it was the story that I didn't like. So I'm not heartless or like tasteless. I liked Fourth Wing. I just thought it got progressively worse. My favorite out of the series was Iron Flame, if that matters. I'm one of those who likes, I'm a Nesta girly and I'm an Iron Flame girly. And I'm a Direbound girly. So that comes out on May 5th. Coming out on June 9th, literally this is probably Book Talk's most anticipated book. Is it mine? I'm really excited about it, but I think literally the whole of Book Talk is excited about this one. Light Wielder by Rachel Schneider. It is the sequel to Metal Slinger. So Metal Slinger was one of the most talked about books last year, also along with Shield of Sparrows. Metal Slinger had a plot twist that people either loved and raved about, or they absolutely hated it and then told everybody not to read it. It's wild. It's wild. It has quite a wild plot twist. However, I really liked it. I thought it was interesting. I'm going to read Light Wielder. I'm very excited. And this is only going to be a duology. So Light Wielder is the last book. If you read Metal Slinger and you're like, I didn't like it enough to get invested into a new series, it's literally only one more book. You may as well finish it out. So coming out on July 7th, we have In the Wake of the Ruined, which is the sequel to In the Veins of the Drowning. In the Veins of the Drowning was sort of gothic, siren, water, ocean vibes. It was dark, it was deep. The romance, I don't know how to explain it, but the romance didn't really feel similar to the other romances that I was reading. This is another book that a lot of people either loved or hated. I saw a lot of critical reviews of this one. And this one, honestly, this is not a bad book. Like, if you're out there saying that, like, Fourth Wing is a work of art, like, this one's written in a similar style to Fourth Wing. So it's not, like, I disagree that it's about the writing or that this is a badly written book. This one also has a little bit more world building in it. It's not going to be a super fast burn where you're going to be like, oh my God, they're having crazy spice on like page 10. Like, honestly, Fourth Wing wasn't like that either, but you did get quite a bit of spice, like even just in book 1. But I think this is a matter of an opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I did get told I had bad taste for liking this one. And also a lot of other people who liked it got told that they had bad taste for this. This is one of those books that's just, you're either going to like it or you're not. And if you don't like it, I have plenty of other really good book recommendations that you shouldn't make your decision on just one, because I have very diverse taste. But this one was a good time. And I feel like the sequel, number one, the covers are really pretty. But number two, I read this. It was also really short. It was like just over 300 pages. So this is one of those like dark and deep trauma, emotional stuff, but also it's not super long. So it's not going to take you very long to read it. Coming out the same month on July 21st, we have The Prince of Swords, which is the sequel to Arcana Academy. Arcana Academy was Dark Academia. It is tarot card magic. It had one of the best book boyfriends. I loved him. Number one, he's the headmaster of the school. So that was a new dynamic. And number two, he just physically was described exactly how I like my men. He was like skinny but muscular and sort of like angular and sort of giving like Dorian, how Dorian is described. He's not this big buff like giant man. Like, I like a big buff giant man too, but I'm gonna be real. I like a little skinny emo boy like much better. And that's how this man was described. Also his personality, which is everything about him was doing it for me. So honestly, Arcana Academy is for the book boyfriend, but also it's for people who like Dark Academia. It's for people who like tarot card magic. I will say, just because we're always honest here on YouTube, I do think that the tarot card magic system is a little bit hard to understand, and you have to pay more attention if you're going in and reading this as someone who doesn't know anything about tarot card magic. If you know about the Arcana, you're going to be fine. But I do feel like the author kind of expected us to know a little bit more. So we're going to insert in here, if you read Arcana Academy and found that magic system to be confusing and you want something that gives you a little bit more info, helps you understand in not a boring like world building way, A Vow and Vengeance was a really good one that also had a tarot card magic system that I did feel was easier to understand. And that also had a book boyfriend to die for. Like that. Anyway, that came out in January. So if you want to go way back and add that to books that I was really excited about it. So I just didn't want to go back to January. On August 4th, let's talk about one of the most criminally underhyped books and series ever. We had A Dance of Lies was book 1, and we're getting Dance with Death, which is book 2 in August. So this one, again, this is one that kind of pisses me off because people don't like it because it's not romance heavy immediately. Now, let me tell you, it is romance heavy. It's just not fast burn romance heavy. This is one, it deals with chronic illness. It has a beautiful magic system. Our FMC is a dancer. And then we also have an immaculate, like Dorian with a man bun book boyfriend. And the romance, it is a romantasy. So romance is a big part of it. However, romance, I feel like, is this just me? I feel like I have to work really hard to convince people to read a book when I'm saying that it's not spicy. I feel like as soon as I say that, people are like, skip. I don't want that. And I'm not just like, I don't think all of that's in my head, because I did used to post videos back in the day that were like my favorite low spice romance or romantasy recs or fantasy without spice recs. And I would literally, within the first 5 minutes, number one, those videos would never go anywhere. They wouldn't get watched by that many people. And number two, the comments that I would see would literally be people that would say, thank you for making this list because now I know what books not to add to my TBR. And they weren't being mean. They weren't being like mean to me, but like, I was like, is that really what you think? Huh? Is that really, oh my God, I just poked myself in the eye. That's how mad I am. Is that really like all it takes for you to like a book is the amount of spice in it? And then I just like, I got kind of sad for a while, and I go through like ebbs and flows of like liking to recommend books and feeling all that kind of thing. But I just feel like I have to work extra hard when I'm recommending a book to you guys that's not overly spicy because everybody just checks out. So I feel like in 2026, we need to pivot a little bit and we need to really push books with like immaculate story. And if they have immaculate spice, like that's also great. I'm always going to tell you if a book has immaculate spice, and I'm always going to put the spice rating on it. But I want you guys to not swipe by and not save and not have any interest in the books when you see that they're 1 chili pepper or less. Like that's annoying. And I have so much more that I want to show you. I want to show you like my high fantasy recs. I want to show you like the millennial high fantasy recs that you missed. Like let's talk about my millennial, like my childhood fantasy ones that I would reread as an adult. And just nobody wants to interact with those. But I do feel like I can share them on YouTube. So I'll bring them to the extra special people. But is it just me? Or do we feel like that? Do we feel like we're seeing that people are less likely to read stuff because it's not spicy? Because that really truly pisses me off. Like there's so much better than spice. Anyway, that's my point. A Dance of Lies is not a spicy book. I did hear from the author herself in person that book 2 is where the spice is. So this is basically a romantasy series where it is a slow burn romance that will have you, on the edge of your seat, feral, and you will get the payoff. But the issue is a lot of people don't wait for it. So I'm going to recommend that you read A Dance of Lies. The story and the plot is amazing and beautiful, and it's not like a slow, boring book. It's just not hitting you over the head with people being obsessed with each other and touching each other in the first 5 pages, which I'm looking for that. That's what I want. So if you like that, you are in the right spot. Welcome. We can be book besties, and I feel confident giving you recommendations. Unhinged spice for no reason pisses me off. Kiss of the Basilisk pissed me off. It's just, it got crazy. It got so unbelievable that I was laughing and crying and then mad. I went through all the stages of grief reading that book. On August 4th, the same date, we have The Lion and the Deathless Dark. Crowns of Nyaxia, again, people like to make me mad and tell me that I'm wrong, is a series of duets. It literally says book 1 and 2 of Nightborn Duet. They don't say books 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it is a series because it's in the same world, but kind of like Kerri Maniscalco's, like they're different romances happening in the same world. Different stories, different plots, different purposes happening in the same world. I do not come on here and recommend things blatantly wrong. Like if I'm wrong about something, I will admit it, but what really annoys me is when people come into my space and tell me confidently how wrong I am when I'm absolutely right. So if you're out there telling me that I'm wrong for Serpent in the Wings of Night, here's your proof right here. Also, Red Rising is a trilogy. If you look on the books, it says the Red Rising trilogy, book 1, 2, and 3, and then the corresponding ones all say a Red Rising novel. They don't say 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. Anyway, I know you guys come to watch these videos for me to rant. I actually did have somebody comment that they don't like it when I rant. I'm gonna rant. I'm gonna tell you. I feel like it's boring to just get on here and like, here's a book, here's this, here's this. Like YouTube is the only place where I feel like I can bring out my real personality and I can like word vomit at you and tell you every single unfiltered thought without getting like punished by an algorithm. It does hurt my feelings when people tell me that they don't like my personality. So do with that what you will. That person was not being mean. They were just being honest, but it did hurt my feelings. So moving on to something really positive. On August 8th, literally a book I've been waiting for. Oh my God, one of my favorite series ever. And this book is going to make it a completed trilogy. We have Bedeviled by Laura Thalassa. So this is the 3rd book in the Bewitched series, the Bewitched trilogy. So that is 3 books, but it also has a novella that's a prequel if you want to make it 4 books. You don't have to read the novella, but I would recommend it. It's absolutely amazing. But Bedeviled is the end, and Memnon, literally, if anybody's been with me since I got to Book Talk, Memnon was like on my original like top 10 book boyfriends list. Like he's amazing. He was the first book boyfriend that I thought gave Damon Salvatore. He was the original, this is the Damon Salvatore book boyfriend. You will hate him. You will think he's gross. You will get the ick. He literally, like our main character is a witch. She goes to a college, so it's kind of dark academia. It's sort of more modern. She can't use her power without sacrificing a memory. So if she wants to use her magic, she has to give up one of her memories and she never gets it back. So sort of like 50 First Dates, sort of, but she doesn't lose all of her memories. She writes them down in little notebooks. She keeps little diaries to like remember the memories that she has lost. He burns all of her diaries. I love it. I love it when that happens. I love it when a man does something so obscene that you think he can never come back for. And you better believe in book 2, I was crawling for him even after he did that. Okay, read the book. On September 8th, we've got probably another really exciting book talk book. We have The Wolf Queen. So The Wolf King and The Night Prince are by Lauren Palfreyman. These are two of like the book community, the Romantasy book community's favorite books. They're also favorites of mine. I'm giving you my honest opinion here. You know, sometimes I'm basic and I like what everybody else likes. But The Wolf King is basically Outlander with werewolves. Also kind of gives an ACOTAR vibe, except there's 2 love interests and one of them is not hateable. So there are 2 that like, listen, like imagine it's ACOTAR, but Tamlin is Jamie Fraser instead. Like he's likable. Like literally Jamie Fraser. And then we also have like a Shadow Daddy giving like morally gray Klaus Michelson vibe werewolf in here too. So like literally how are you going to choose? And I don't believe that this is a why choose series. I think she's going to have to make a choice, but both of them are likable, which is what I look for in a love triangle. Like I don't want a love triangle where you hate one of them and it's super obvious. Like that's boring. So The Wolf Queen is going to be the 3rd book. I don't know if it's the last book. I haven't heard that, but it is coming out in September. So the beginning of another duet is coming out on September 15th, and this is by Jasmine Maas. She wrote Psycho Shifters, she wrote The Blood and the Bonds of Hercules, and she's writing a why choose vibe. I don't know the tropes in this one, but this is about like a lady knight, a knight who is a lady. I don't know if she's like impersonating or she's like kind of being like Joan of Arc and like trying to infiltrate as a woman. I don't really know how that works, but that's kind of what it sounds like. And this one is going to be enemies to lovers. It's going to be forced proximity. Jasmine Maas also writes some of the most like hilarious banter and internal monologues that I've ever heard in my entire life. Like some of the funniest moments were in Psycho Shifters, and then some of the best like animal friends, animal characters, sidekicks. Like she writes a really good cast. You're gonna like everyone, and I feel like it's gonna be the same in this new one, and this is gonna be the first in a duology. So don't worry, it's not gonna be a big series. It's only gonna be 2 books, but the first one comes out in September. Okay, so right in the middle of these, somewhere near Halloween, I'm assuming in October, we're getting my personal most anticipated book of 2026, which is Vasmora by Kerri Lake. This is going to be the 3rd and final book in the Eating Woods trilogy. The first book was Anathema, second book was Eldritch. I've been talking about these nonstop. They are gothic, they are lush. People like to tell me this too. I've never been paid to talk about Anathema. I talk about Anathema because I like it. Kerri Lake is amazing. She likes all my videos, but homegirl has never asked me to make a video for her. So I don't know. I like it. It's true. Like I'm never going to tell you that I like a book if I hated it. I mean, some people do that. Whatever. But this is going to be the conclusion. This is going to be the last book. Eldritch absolutely broke my heart. Eldritch, this is character journey, character development. It's deep. It's trauma, it's healing. It's not a lot of healing yet. I'm sure there will be. There's emotional damage, and Zavander is better than every single one of your top favorite book boyfriends. He is better than all of them. Zavander is the most fleshed out, like deep, relatable on a primal, like you feel connected to him on a primal level. And that, you know what that does to the spice? And there is spice in this book. Everybody also tells me there's no spice in this book. This is a spicy series, but it's also a fantasy. It's a high fantasy. It's got a lot of plot that is really good. It's got a lot of characters. It's got multiple POVs. So eventually it kind of starts feeling like Throne of Glass because you've got like 4 or 5 POVs. But being so connected to him and to both of the characters makes the spice between these two an out-of-body experience. Like Kerri Lake writes some of the best spice. I do think this book has her best spice in it. There was good spice in Nocticadia, but I feel like it's so much deeper. It takes on a completely new level in this book. So if this isn't on your TBR, it's going to be concluded in 2026. So go ahead and start reading it. Read Anathema, read Eldritch, or pack them all into your spooky season because they are like the epitome of a perfect spooky season read. Coming out on November 15th, we have The Wrath Gods Reap. So this is the 3rd in a series. We had The Games Gods Play, The Things Gods Break, I think was the 2nd one, and then this is going to be the 3rd. Now I'm going to give you a heads up. These are a good spicy vibe. These are not world-altering, deep, emotional damage. There is high energy, fast-paced plot. These are a vibe. These are a good time. These are really fun. They're really quick. They're for our games and trials girlies, but these are not like a god tier book for me. However, I eat them up so much that I am absolutely like super excited for book 3. If you want the vibe, that's the insight. Like these are vibes reads. On November 26th, we have Holy Monsters, which is the 3rd book in the Heavenly Bodies series. Now, the thing about Heavenly Bodies is Heavenly Bodies was god tier. It was amazing. And then book 2 was not so amazing. So this is one of those ones where I'm hoping it did the thing where you have a really good first book. The second book doesn't quite deliver, but then the third book like carries you through it and like redeems the god tier quality. So this one I'm very excited about, but I'm excited because I have hope that it will improve the series. Like right now, if it were to stop after book 2, this would probably be like a 3-star series, even though book 1 was 5. I'm hoping that Holy Monsters really like amps it back up to like a 5-star series. And I don't know if this is the last book. I'm not sure. I don't know. But this is coming out. It's the 3rd book. And I do still recommend that you read Heavenly Bodies, but I will tell you after I read this one, whether or not the series overall is in fact worth it. After the second book was not bad, but it was not as good as book 2, which I feel like sometimes that happens. And then I'm going to give you guys a bonus because when I put this on TikTok, somebody pointed out that I missed one of like my favorites. I can't believe I missed it. The 2nd book in Blood and Betrayals comes out. I don't know if it has a title yet. If it does, I'll put it on screen. But Blood and Betrayals was one of my god tier books from last year. It's gothic, dark academia, shifters. It's got multiple potential love interests. Like you do not know who is going to be the love interest. Not to mention it has one of the rudest emotion invoking, like unhinged endings that I read in 2025. Like these authors, like you'll be mad at them, which again, that's what I like. Like that's the sign of somebody who is for me. Someone who's not afraid to obliterate your heart and to ruin your reading experience at the end of a book. Like that's what I love. So bonus, that one's coming out. I'll put the date on here. I don't remember. Those are the 21 books that I am most excited for in 2026. I was going to do 26, but I'm tired. But you did get 21. So let me know again if I've left any off, and also honestly come back and reference this every single month when you need to know what your number 1 pick of the month needs to be, because these are potentially like going to be the best ones of each month. So make sure you save this. I also never say this because I don't like to, but please subscribe, like the video. Whatever people say, smash that button. That is so cringe. I'm never going to say that on here, but I'm not one that likes to tell people what to do, but I do feel like sometimes the good girls, the book girlies, they like to be told what to do. Hit the subscribe button, okay? Come back. We're gonna be officially weekly on YouTube now. Like if I get really crazy, we're gonna double post during the week on YouTube. I'm ready because I feel like we can be a little bit more unhinged here. I feel like I can be much more honest on YouTube. I don't have to make things quick. I don't have to like make things super grabby. I feel like if you want to see it, you're going to see it. So we're going to be here weekly. I also am working on a god tier dystopian list, all different types, like my top 5 romantasies of low, medium, high, and unhinged spice. We're going to make a master list of those, like the best. And I've got a bunch of fun things coming for you. And if you want to hear more of day in the life stuff, if you want to know about content creation, if you want to know about how it works when authors ask you to review their books, I'm happy to talk about it. I'm happy to tell you. I don't hide anything. I don't know. I'll tell you how, if I've ever said, oh, if you want to know the tea, I can tell you what books people have asked me to read that I've said no to, or that I've said no to reviewing because I didn't like the book. Is that tea? Do we want to know? Like, it's not mean. I would never say anything mean, but there are books that people wanted me to review that I didn't like. So if you want to know, happy to tell you. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Let me know what your most anticipated book of 2026 is. And if there was one on this list, which one you think shouldn't be on this list, because let's get the discussion going. Let's be controversial. I want to hear your thoughts. Just don't be a booty hole about it. Just be nice. Just don't attack my personality because we don't like a book. But otherwise, I'm happy. I would love to hear why you're not excited about some of these. But I do want to know if I missed any so that I can continue to make my TBR 10,000 miles long.